IBC chairman was not called upon to just officiate the process. He was called upon to execute a constitutional obligation. And therefore, when the law speaks about a declaration, there must be clear demonstration that the same was done. What happened, my ladies, my lords? He says that the law does not require him to do so. He does not annex any evidence that the same was declared. He does not annex any evidence in his affidavit that there was tallying. He does not aid this honorable court to make an opinion that, yes, the requirements of the Constitution were met. Finally, my ladies, my lords, we need to interrogate the conduct of the chairman of the IBC. We need to interrogate the previous and even the current conduct of the chairman. He was effectively described by my senior line friend, Mr. Norji, that is a person who has perfected the art of imperfection. And he has perfected the art of imperfection by making sure that he conducts a lone ranger process. Remember, my ladies, my lords, to the run-up of the second election in 2017, a similar issue arose, which necessitated the resignation of the commissioners. How long shall we allow an individual to keep on transgressing the law? How long shall we allow this individual to keep on putting Kenyans and to subject Kenyans into uncertainty? The law requires that there must be certainty. And the certainty contemplated by the law is that I shall cast my vote, and my vote shall count. And why are the 27 constituencies fundamental and key to these proceedings? If you look at our paragraph 57, 52, 53, and 54, we have listed those constituencies. It is where an individual or the first petitioner has his supporters. It is where he has his support base. So were they left out as a matter of design? Were they left out by default? Or was he holding someone's brief? My ladies, my lords, we submit that to the extent that those constituencies were not tallied, were not verified, and the declarations were not made, then this election did not meet the provisions of the Constitution. Finally, my ladies, my lords, he says in paragraph 25 that he can announce elections anytime that he so wishes, even if there are some constituencies that have not generated their results. But what does section 39, subsection 2 of the Election Act provides? It provides, my ladies, my lords, I would wish to read this. The chairman may declare a candidate elected as president before all constituencies have transmitted their results. The operating word here, my ladies, my lords, is the word before. So if before, at the time he's declaring those elections, the constituencies have not generated their results, he can declare. But the situation where we are in, my ladies, my lords, on 9th, going by the dictates of Maina Kiai's case, the chairman had received all the results from the polling stations. It was therefore incumbent upon him to make sure that they are included, to make sure that they are tallied, to make sure that they are verified. Finally, my ladies, my lords, permit me to delve on an issue that was dealt with in the morning by my senior learned friend, Mr. Governor Orengo. My ladies, my lords, I am referring to the replying affidavit filed by Honorable William Ruto, and I'm referring to page 111, where it indicates a preliminary statement of the IGAD election observation mission to the August elections. At that paragraph, my ladies, my lords, these were individuals who are observers of the elections, who are out there observing the elections. When it came to the question of analyzing the voters' turnout, the report says, it is annexed in its affidavit, that in most of the polling stations visited, voters' turnout was noticeably low and recorded around 55%. Those were observers out there in the field observing the elections, giving a return of the 55%. 55%. And this 55%, and you can see how this computation of the turnout is fluid. It is so fluid. It's a lever. You are not able to hold it. The chairman is not able to tell about the voters turnout. The report is giving us a different voters turnout. So what exactly was the voters turnout? So that the voters turnout then can assist us in the computation of the sum of 50 plus 1%. Finally, my ladies, my lords, there's a question as to the computation of the 50 plus 1%. That when the chairman gave his final public address about the voters' turnout, he deliberately exempted those individuals who voted manually. To date, we are not aware of how many people passed through the manual registration. How many people voted manually? I mean, my ladies, my lords, it is not within the armpits or within the purview or within the power or the discretion of the chairman of the Electoral Commission to do that what he wishes. He cannot deal with the question of elections from his aspirations or from his wishes. He must deal with the question of election as dictated by the Constitution, as dictated by the election laws. Finally, my ladies, my lords, we urge you to admit our petition and you dismiss the replies filed by all the respondents and find that this election was not conducted in accordance to the Constitution. And my ladies, my lords, that you give an order that the sovereignty of the people must be respected. And the sovereignty of the people cannot be respected, cannot be upheld where there is serious transgression at the wishes of the chairman of the Electoral Commission. Finally, my ladies, my lords, there needs to be a retribution. There needs to be a stop of all these transgressions. How many times shall we subject Kenyans to these processes? How many times should we appear before you with the same gravement every day, after every elections? There ought to be a stop. And a stop is making sure that the proper sanctions, criminal sanctions, as prescribed by the Election Act, are meted against any transgressor. And there is no one who is above the law, including the chairman, so that people may learn to respect the law. I'm so obliged.